Blog Talk Radio.
The motherfucking saga continues.
Yo, what's up, world? It's badass thuggin' like I usually do, and you better turn it up, bust some speakers out, cause we off the motherfucking cuff. You dig how we do it? Dogtown Gangsters 2000 and beyond. Bless.
What's up with it, y'all? Man, don't change that down. This your player partner, the legendary Cocaine. And you tuned in live to Off the Cuff Radio. Better not touch that down. Wigglin'.
Yeah, this is Cassidy, the hustler. And right now, you listening to the Guillotine. Show them the respect they deserve, man. Off the Cut Radio, man. Y'all already know how they doing it, man. I need y'all to stay tuned. They've been doing it for years, so show them the respect they deserve. And you heard it out of bars, mouth. Easy.
Keep it moving like this. Yo, this your boy Rampage. You're not rocking with the best. With Off the Cuff Radio. Classic. History. Fix your face to all you haters. We off the cuff, baby.
What's up, everybody? This your girl, Bonnie Dollars, the Queen of Trap, representing Crenshaw, and you are now tuned in with Off the Cuff Radio. What's up? What's up, y'all? This is Miss Irresistible, giving a shout out to the live show on Friday nights, Off the Cuff Radio, and I'm live from the 704.
Oh, shit. All right, live and direct, Off the Cuff Radio, King Eric, the Media Assassin, live and direct, episode 671. T-Max on the line was good.
Man, what it do, y'all. Another tremendous Thursday of terrificness on the freshest frequency of the internet, Off the Cuff Radio. Shout out to our co-host, Spiro, Eli Sandman, Lady Chinchilla, and we are ready to turn it up on another exciting and entertaining episode. And tonight's guest, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the most flyest female MCs, writers, activists, everything you can think of representing California. She is 10 toes down on the thorough, all definitions of real out there in her community, making change in a positive way, throwing it up, for her city and her section, man. And we are so happy to have her on. Shout out to BC for the connect. We got the marvelous Mama Boo with us. What it do?
How you guys
Got
doing?
you on.
What's going on, Ma?
Nothing too much. Waiting on y'all so we can get it popping.
Yeah. Had a lot of technical difficulties. We had a lot of technical difficulties, but we definitely here.
Right. That part right there.
Definitely. Mama Boo, it's been a long time coming, but we are so elated, excited, and appreciative to have you with us. You got a story to tell, and we got time to hear it, so let's get it. Represent that AP Athens Port, man. I mean, look, throw it up for the set, man.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, man. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Where you from, and your whole story.
Well, everybody know I'm from LA, born and raised. Athens area, born and raised, basically, too. A little bit about myself. I'm an author, an artist, a social engineer, an activist, a nonprofit CEO and founder. As you see the picture in the back, I ride motorcycles. A mother, a proud Navy mom. What else do you guys want to know? Ask me some questions and I can break it down a little better.
Look, you're multi-talented.
First thing first, we want to talk about the book that you have going on. Tell us about that.
Okay, well, which one? Because I have 3 books, but today I just more so focus on the last 2 that I've wrote, Female Gangster, Gangster Girl, Masking a Female Gangster. Now, this book right here is real good. This is my best book, so I say. And a lot of people that didn't read the book, they always hit me back and like, I thought you was telling war stories in the book. I thought you was like just saying some shit was going on over there in Athens. No, this book is more of the effects of having a parent that's a gang member, the psychological effects, the emotional trauma, the everything, the effects of having a parent, a mom or a dad that's a gangbanger. So that's really what the book is about. It's like basically don't judge the book by its cover. So that one, I'm not gonna tell too much of that one because I really want you guys to go and get this book because the punk ass bitches is up in here, the female gangsters up in here. It's a lot up in here. Just read the book and see which one are you. And the latest book that I just dropped is How You Love a Nigga That Don't Love His Own Kids. Once again, same type scenario. I'm not in here going off on the nigga that don't fuck with his kids. I'm going off on the people around them, like the matriarchs that raised these and groomed these young men. The dads that gave them the example of why they don't fuck with their kids. The homeboys that never call their homeboy out on not fucking with their kids. The punk ass bitches that like these niggas and fight over these niggas. So I say get the books because it's really not what the title is. It's actually what's in the book. I did some real soul searching and research to write these 2 books and working on my next book.
I mean, the authoring, the task of undertaking such a painstaking opus is arduous at best, but it's something obviously that is near and dear to you and the passion that you speak in terms of what you pen in those pages. When you speak about the accountability of what goes on, because we want to talk about the book in terms of, the delinquent, deadbeat dads. Because we got more to get to. How important is it for accountability in terms, because we see so many of these situations in terms of male-female relationships, the dynamics, especially in the Black community, and how a lot of this irresponsibility is not only condoned, it's enabled.
Yes.
How much is it that we have? How do we get back on track in terms of holding individuals accountable at the source and understanding where all of it starts that facilitates these bad behaviors?
If I were to start with the women that raised them, a lot of people, as far as in the book, I'm talking about the guys that do not, be there for their kids and the people around them. But it starts at home. Everything starts at home. Now, with the women that do not hold their kids accountable with little things as little kids, you got to start young with them to let them know you're responsible for certain things. I don't give a damn if it's a puppy or a book, but you're responsible. That's yours, and hold them accountable. Stop letting them slide because, you don't really want to be on your son like that because they get older and they still be having that pacifier in their fucking mouth. And then now it's time for them to step up and be accountable and obligated to their kids, but they still that little punk ass little nigga that you raised. So, it's just a lot of different effects. But I think holding these guys accountable could change everything. Like say, for example, everybody know a gang of deadbeat ass niggas that they hang with every day, that they smoke weed with, that they go to parties with, that they just shoot the shit with. And he don't take care of his kids, and it could be some dumb shit like, because of the female. But at the end of the day, you need to have that conversation with your homeboy. Like, nigga, I'm not smoking no more blunts with you. I'm not riding with you. You can't ride with me, nigga. Move around. Get your punk ass away from me. Stop allowing them to be like life is good when their kids is struggling emotionally more than anything.
That's real. Especially from my time in the school system I was blessed to be in. For 12 years. And it's real because you see how the effects are. From my experience, I see a lot of situations because the mothers try to overcompensate at times for the daddy not being there. So like you said, there's a lot of letting it slide. And then they even ready to come at us when we basically are trying to save their kids' lives in terms of telling them, because my students will tell you, I love my babies, but I had my foot in the ass ready for the ones that ain't want to get right. And it wasn't trying to be mean. It was the fact of letting them know, being older as I was at the time, that they're not understanding what is on that other side. When you get out into the law, dealing with the streets, and when you really, 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 because mama not going to be there to save you. And, once you get in those situations, especially when, I saw a video on IG the other day, and I don't know if it was a real court video or a film, but it's a mother who was looking at her two sons, and she was saying, you know, y'all went and done this shit to me. You know, I know one thing, you know, I want my motherfucking bail money back on, you know, to both of them. And then she just breaks down with her man. She's like, they know we ain't got shit. We ain't got shit, you know, because, and it's like, when you get into those situations, when bail comes up, you know, your lawyer, I mean, shit is expensive, and that's even before you go to trial. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think that we got to look at it as, you know, stop raising these damn pookies. You know, like at the end of the day, what I've learned and what I've seen throughout all my life with all different type of families is the son or the daughter, I call them the pookies and the pearls, that are either on drugs, that are either like, you know, child molesters, the ones that is very disrespectful to the mom. Those are the ones that they advocate the most for. Those are the ones that they put their house up for. And the other daughter or son that's doing good, that's trying to go to school, that may be struggling here and there, anytime they struggle or fall on hard times, that's the one that you're talking about. That's the one that you're condemning. So my thing is, like I tell my kids, I'm not raising no pookie and no pearls. And whoever, which one of y'all be a pookie or a pearl, that's the one I'm not fucking with. Like, I gotta save that energy and the resources for the kid or the kids that's doing what they need to do. So I think that one need to really take a look at their kids and stop babying and pacifying the fuck ones. You know, like everybody had a conversation that the uncles didn't touch the kids, and he's at Thanksgiving dinner, or he's always in his mama house, you know, and cussing her out or whatever. But then when certain family members want to step in and whoop his ass or call the police, she forbids you from doing that. And it's like, she say things like, you know, don't worry about him, he have a problem. No, you his motherfucking problem. So I just think at the end of the day, it starts at home, and people need to pay attention to these pookies and these pearls and stop advocating for them in they fuck shit and turning your lifestyle upside down. Your house is now finna be foreclosed on because you trying to get him out of jail. What, for like the fourth time for him doing the same fuck shit? You the problem, period.
Yeah, and that's
then on top of that,
where,
they also want to blame music and entertainment and that. Like,
but that is a part of it. Like, you know, these kids are very impressionable. You know, I deal with young girls. I talk to young girls all the time, not just the ones that's in my nonprofit. Like, you know, throughout the day, I just may start talking to a young girl, give her my number, you know, so if you have something going on, you want to talk to somebody. So I talk to way more people than I let on to for everybody to know. But no, you just gotta stop the bullshit at the end of the day. Just stop the bullshit. And people are biased with their bullshit. Like the same thing that they feel this type of way on if it's not their child, but when it is their child, they feel a different type of way. It's like, no, stick with right is right, wrong is wrong, and everything in between is bullshit.
Absolutely. We wanted to get to your opinions on the music in a second, because we talked so much on the show for so many years with so many people about how the climate of the music has changed. Mama, but I did want...
No, back to my thought real quick. No, the music
go ahead.
I mean, if your kids is sitting listening to this music all day, then that's in their mind, their spirit, their soul. That's what they taking in. For example, back when I was really, really active, it's about 5 songs that when them songs used to come on, it would change me and my homegirl dynamics. Like, we on some whole other shit. So that's why I don't listen to that type of music no more, because it'll get me turned up, and I'll be somewhere and I'll be turned up. So music is within your soul if you listen to it all the time. So music do have a huge part in how these kids act. Like, point blank, these little boys don't talk about getting married. They don't talk about, you know, being with one female. Like, never really did, but back more in the day, it was like, you know, when you find that one, you're gonna get married. These little young boys like, I ain't marrying no bitch. And it's like, that's what you think all females are? Like, they don't know the difference between the types. And they don't care. They just bunch everybody in the same category, and all of that is based on music. At least we did have R&B soul. Love music. It ain't no love music out here right now for these little kids. They ain't in love. They fucking.
Mama, you not lying, because, you know, we're all older. So we remember the radio. We remember the video shows. We remember the diversity. We remember, love songs like Keith Sweat and Jackie McGee, Make It Last Forever.
Right.
We remember the songs like Atlantic, what you call it, Secret Lovers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We with Luther, Here and Now, and even when it gets into the hardcore hip hop, like Threat, Let the Dogs Loose, Cam's Peace Treaty, Ice Cube's Colorblind, Cool G Rap, we listened to the diversity was there. The music was you had something for everybody. And now we're looking at where things are in the internet age, the digital age. And I tend to go on my, soliloquies. But when you think about it, we came from a time, we're the last generation where we actually knew life before social media.
True.
And we are seeing now all of our young people who are trying to live life through social media.
Yeah.
And all they see now in terms of rapping, because you are an artist and a damn good one as well, you understand the struggles in terms of what it meant back in the day to, get your song, to get studio time, to get a video crew, to get the video shot, hoping somebody might fuck with it, where they can broadcast video. You born and raised in LA, so you all always had that DIY from the hood, especially y'all were going to get it done. And most importantly, above all, you didn't rap back in the day if you didn't know how to do it. And now anybody, and now you got with modern technology, through your cell phone or digital cameras in abundance now, and with, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you can shoot something in a day and have it on there the next day.
Yeah, or that night. Yeah.
Yeah, or that night, but the thing is, when we listen to a lot of it, I love my gangster shit as much as anybody. But even then, when I listen to some of it, it just has a dark energy, and when we think about the drill shit in Chicago, and we're not trying to, be against Chicago rap because hip hop is everywhere. But it's like, to me, it's just something unsettling. And you really from the trenches from Athens. So you understand what it meant to get active when you said somebody's name in public.
Right.
And back in the day, if even certain artists, even when Ice Cube and NWA had their beef, you never felt like it was going to go on a street level. We all know that story. But when you got this new generation of young artists out there, they're literally talking about how they're going to run up on somebody, they're going to kill them, they're going to kill their whole family. Do we really need to go into how many artists have actually gotten killed this generation because they went out there and said something crazy online?
Right. It's like they don't have the same fear that we had. You know what I mean? Like, it's a level of fear that's not a bad thing. If I can feel like, oh, I'm not gonna go over there, it's gonna be some shit over there. Just because I don't go over there doesn't mean that I'm a mark ass female, but these kids is like, they just like, I don't give a fuck. And it's like, y'all killing yourself. Y'all killing yourself off at a alarming rate. And what I've noticed, the shift is now a lot of more females are getting killed. Like every day it's a female that's getting killed. And that was not like that when I was growing up. That was rare. Females getting killed was kind of like a kid getting killed. Now it's just like damn near they getting killed on damn near the same rate as niggas.
When you came up in the time that you did in terms of representing Athens Park, of course, there was a lot of females. Shout out to Danny Girl, from Rolling 20s. Rest in peace to Nene X, from the Bloods. It's like, how did you jump off the porch in terms of your experiences on the block?
How did I jump off the porch? I was just angry that my dad wasn't around. So that was really my driving force to get revenge for that. So that was like really, really my driving force. But one thing about it, females and gangbanging and everything that is being publicized now, we've been doing that. What people don't understand is women don't talk as much as niggas do.
Right.
I'm gonna say it again. Females don't talk as much as niggas do with real hood shit. We do not. So that's why you don't have so many females like of my stature or even more potent than me that's on social media that's telling their stories, because we don't talk like that. When we're raised a certain way, we stick to that. Niggas don't stick to that. Niggas run from their motherfucking kids. How you expect a motherfucker to be loyal to the hood and niggas run from their DNA? We don't. We gang bang and we steal mommy. So we more, my opinion, as in Gangsta Girl book, y'all need to check it out. I explain why we more potent than you niggas and we get the least respect. We've been doing the same shit y'all been doing. We just don't get the same respect just because of our genitals.
Right.
Man, I mean, when you think about that time growing up, what was it like in LA in terms of when it was really active, when you were coming up on during that time in the 80s and 90s?
I mean, the 80s, I was little. The 90s, I didn't really jump off the porch to about like end of the 90s. So end of the 90s. So, I mean, to me, I was just active and burnt out mentally. So it was fun. It wasn't even dangerous to me. Like, I get scared now thinking about the shit I used to do. Like, I was nowhere near scared about that shit then. And I'm like, girl, you used to play Russian roulette with yourself all the time, just doing fuck shit. But thank God nothing ever happened to me. But I be more scared now about it. Back then, it was just fun. It was like ignorance, like a blissful ignorance. So, you know, like I say, I be scared of some of my thoughts now. I be like, oof. Girl, but then it was just fun, but it was a lot going on. You know, back then you could tell who the Bloods, who the Crips are. Now you cannot. Bloods didn't wear blue back then. Crips didn't wear red back then. Now everybody wear anything or Versace or Gucci, and you don't know who's who. It was a dress code to it back then. It is not a dress code to it no more. It's not a lingo really too much to it no more. Motherfucker just be, the lingo is so stupid now. Like, I remember when you say on a dead homie, you was not lying. You would get DP'd if you was lying. Like, you bottom line and everything. If you putting it on somebody that's from the hood that passed away, like, that's the end result for you to make your homies understand that I'm dead ass not lying. These motherfuckers say that shit just like, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? They say it just like that. Like every other word on the dead homie. Because I was walking down the street though, because it was on the dead homie. Because man, I was trying to get some dollar. I was telling this bitch, you know, on the dead homie. What?
That's a lot of dead
homie. Like, they say it way too much, and majority of them, well, as much as the youngsters are passing away now, they do have dead homies, but y'all don't even know the dead homies. A lot of them don't even know the name. They don't even know the person of the name they're carrying. Never been around him. He may be still in the pen. He may be dead. He might not have gangbanged no more, or her, but there's very few hers. And they just, I'll just, every day on the dead homie, you know what I'm saying? You feel me, on the dead homie. And it's like, the name you carry too much weight for you to be out here playing like you playing.
Man, listen.
I think what it is too is, the problem is too, the internet made it too convenient for people. The internet create comfortability.
Yeah, because it's easy to bang on a camera at home.
Yeah.
You can't bang on it like our era. If you bang it on somebody, it is face to face. It's no other way, or over the phone. That's the only two ways. Now you can be in a whole different state, like really turned up on somebody, like you hard as fuck, and you in a different state.
And one thing about it, people got to understand is that insults are international. So you say something about somebody, don't think it's going to stop right there in terms of they can't touch you somehow. You know,
but the bullshit is protected though now. Like, real shit ain't real no more. It's like the fake shit rules now. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of little different things that's going on. It don't even have to be the big homie that would check you. It'll be somebody your age that'll check you, or somebody maybe just like a caliber a little bit above you that wouldn't even let you play like that in the streets off the hood name like that. And none of that is like really happening no more. Like, they just be doing shit and don't have to answer to nothing other than a jail cell or a casket.
It's crazy because we've, doing this show all the years we have, we've been blessed to talk to real bangers, from both sides of the flag. Shout to Bronco from Fudge Town. Shout to A Love from Atlanta Drive.
Right there.
Yeah, man. Shout to Bronco, man. Solid dude, man.
Yeah.
Shout to A Love from Atlanta Drive. You know what I'm saying? We had them on the show a couple years back. Just people we talked to off air. B from Mob. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yep.
And the common lament is that, the older homies, the OGs who survived it, Sinlo, all of them as well, Danny Girl, they got out of it. You know what I'm saying? They got out with their life, most importantly. So it's like, the question is, what's going on with who's checking the youngsters? And even then, it's like the youngsters ain't even trying to hear it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm not in my neighborhood gangbanging. I'm more so against it now that I know better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you can't come to me having a conversation like you want to join the hood, and I'll be like, all right, it's like, why? Like, why? Like, I'm 44 and I don't have no pension or retirement. I have respect and I still love where I come from. But at the end of the day, what do I really get out of that other than respect and people know my name and my face? So it's like, I don't know. But at the same time, to come down and really try and check these little youngsters, they are not listening. And at this age, we grandmas and grandpas now. I don't have no grandbaby just yet. I'm trying to get one. I'm trying to be somebody granny boo boo.
It's coming.
I know, but I have two that's in-laws. Well, whatever. But I claim them babies, whatever. But it's like, who finna come from? Then calming yourself down, probably educating yourself, working to pay a house note. It ain't about apartment no more. You done grew. Because most people that gangbang, that got out, they got way more sense than a person that didn't gangbang in the same age. Because we've been through too much. We didn't touch a lot of money. We didn't touch a lot of bullshit. We didn't got touched on levels. So our perspective is very fucking different. And we don't play we never played, but we really don't play now because we got mortgage. You know what I'm saying? So who really want to come down and talk to them and risk your life? And now your family turned upside down and what they gonna pour out a little liquor for you?
Man, you telling the truth. And when we look at
I understand why one wouldn't want to, but I do believe that as an OG or an older homeboy or homegirl, it is our duty to tell them the truth. Like, to tell them the truth. So I'm on ground zero with my neighborhood. I'm on ground zero, especially with these little girls, like gangbanging, running away, prostituting. Any of that is not fucking it. So, and I talk to a lot of my young homies and people other places. I get more conversations from people from other places than I do from my neighbors. Everybody know me and what have you. But other people that's intrigued with me, be wanting to talk to me or whatever about different stuff. So I do a lot more advocating for self than I do for your hood. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to do something for your hood, do something for your community. It's a difference. When you say the different words, it makes a big difference.
It does. Words have meaning and they define the definition. Wanted to talk to you for a second, Mama, about especially your outreach program with the girls, because shout out to one of our good friends, love her dearly, Candy Baby from LA. She was out there on the block, doing what she was doing, way back. And, obviously that's not her thing anymore. She's out there to uplift through her poetry and, her work helping others. When you see a lot of the girls, and when me and Candy talk off air, she talked about how a lot of these girls find themselves out in LA, getting caught up in the street life in terms of, prostitution and all this, that, and the other. And more disturbingly, the scourge of what, we all in the hood know is hood legal and how this shit is beginning to happen. What has been your experiences in witnessing that firsthand and getting these girls' paradigm to shift in terms of understanding most important personal safety and respect is paramount?
The main one thing about it is self, self-esteem, self-respect, boundaries. Because at the end of the day, these girls that's prostituting or whatever, it's not another girl too much that's recruiting them. It's a nigga.
Mm-hmm.
So if one stop chasing niggas so early, then it could be a movement or it could be some type of some action with it. Because I mean, a girl ain't leaving out the house to go be with a girl for the most part. Now I'm not saying that because everything is turning upside down. Gay is becoming something that's in and heterosexual is becoming out. So but for the most part it's something that's intriguing them to run to the streets, and majority of the time with a female it's a nigga. So
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, one got to teach their son the value of a woman and a young woman, period. Like, I don't know. It's just so fucked up out here where these women and men are raising fuckboys. Because at the end of the day, we can't just say that these boys is acting like that because they just feel like it. It's stemming from somewhere. Anything that somebody is doing that's harmful to self is some type of trauma somewhere. Then we always sit and talk to these babies like, it's their fault. Like what y'all like what they're doing once they leave out the house, start doing too much. It's like it's their fault. But where did the trauma start at? It started in the house somewhere. So until they address that,
Mm-hmm. We lost signal for a minute, but we're gonna have her back on.
I mean,
So
Oh,
all
yeah, she
right, we're
back.
back on. We're back.
yeah, no, that's me.
Yeah.
My daughter is blowing me up. Hold on just a second.
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. It's okay.
Yes. Yes, I'm in the middle of an interview. What's up? Okay. Give me a few minutes. What
All right.
I can look and see your destination. How far from the house are you? Okay. Okay. Are you over to the side where you safe? Okay. Well, give me a few minutes and then I'm gonna call you right back because I'm in the middle of an interview. Okay. I know it had to be something. She was calling back to back. Okay, go ahead.
It's all
You
good.
good? Is everything good?
She good. She good. She grown. She
Look,
grown.
we
Ain't
know
nobody
who.
bleed. Look, ain't nobody bleeding. The police ain't gotta be called. She good.
Look, we know who her mama is, and mama ain't raised no punk ass bitches. That's for sure.
Right, right. She already knows. She already called AAA. Are you safe? You good? Okay, girl. I'm doing an interview.
Okay, so what we were talking about with those generational, the traumas, that we also in the hood call generational curses.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna bring this up as a reference point only because this has been a public issue. We already know the story. We've been seeing it for years. Like the situation with R. Kelly and what was going on with his situation with young girls. His name was the most prevalent because it was in the entertainment industry, but obviously, you know, he's not the only one that was doing that. But when we looked at R. Kelly, when we found out when we started doing the backstory on his life, we found out that he was molested and abused as well, which contributed to those habits that he would develop as a
Yeah.
grown man. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cycle.
Yeah, so it's a cycle. And when you think about it out there in terms of where these girls are susceptible to where the silver tongued, platinum poison that some of these dudes are putting out there, what do these young girls have to understand in terms of the definition of, number one, what a real man is and how to know genuineness from game?
You know what? I really think because I mentor young girls and I have a whole curriculum, I really think to start at who they are themselves. before even start
Got
talking
you.
about the dudes. Even with, the ones that's 18, 19 or whatever, we got to go back to where we come from, because most of our youth believe that we originated from slavery, and we did the fuck not. So
Mm-hmm.
to give them the backstory or of who we was as guys and goddess, and talk to them from there, when our people live from the matriarchal system, where the woman was
Right.
the real potent person. You know what I'm saying? Now it's the patriarchal system, and it's like the men make us feel like we're down here, when how are we beneath y'all when we have the life portal?
Mm-hmm.
So my thing with my babies is to get their self-esteem and their information correct of who they are. Start from there, because if they understand who they are and the power that they possess, then they decision making with boys be different. And I
And
know
that's
that
how.
for a fact. You know what I'm saying?
And
Because a lot of
mhm.
people ask me, like, not being funny with me or nothing, but like, what makes you think that you have the information to talk to these little girls? Well, like I tell them, my example is my daughter. From elementary all the way out to high school, honor roll. Didn't play about her or with her about nothing. She didn't start having sex until after getting into the military. So that's my example. That's why I feel like I could talk to them. And as well as being on the flip side of the educational part, being illiterate until I had her, I know about the dysfunction. I know about why women to be upset and fight all the damn time. That
Right. Right.
So I know kind of both sides of the fence. So it's kind of like, and then for a young girl to sit and talk to me, they walk away loving them some Miss Boo, because I hold no punches.
And that's real. I've always said, especially in the Black community, because we get caught up in a lot of competitions in terms of intellectually, in terms of who holds more weight, in terms of who can do more. And my thing is, let's just stop the shit. We need each other as men and women.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
need each other.
Yeah, like a pet peeve
Absolutely.
of mine is women like, I don't need no nigga. Like, yeah, I don't want a nigga either, but a man, that's something different. Like, why do you think we was put on this earth as two different sexes to produce and be together? That thought that I don't need no nigga, I hate that. I think that is so fucking retarded.
But
Exactly.
and the thing is, and the thing is, like the Lord said, be fruitful and multiply. But when we look at how these
Uh-huh.
situations come, and that's where, the drama is, it's because, um, as a Black man, I get upset with a lot of shit I see niggas do, because it plays into the negative stereotype of that Black men are shiftless, have a whole bunch of kids, don't take care of them, are uneducated thugs, have bad credit, don't want to work. And that's not us. We are a race of achievers, inventors. We are strong. We are courageous. We are brave. We are warriors. You know,
It
and I
seems
tell,
like Yeah, it seems like that's what the majority is, because the ones that got good credit, that's living with their wife, that all of them, all the kids are in-house kids, is no
right.
bastards, no damn where. They not on social media playing. They ain't got time to be on social media all day. So
Yeah,
it
it's called being
feels
an
and it
adult, and
seems
they're
like
taking care
that.
of
Yeah, and then
responsibilities.
in the community, he not outside hanging out. So to
Right.
tell y'all, oh, I cooked breakfast this morning for my son, and then I took him to school. He ain't even outside to talk to you about that, because he got shit to do. So it
It's called
seems like
right.
that.
Yeah, and it's called being an adult. And shout out to the, to the homies out there that's holding it down, being grown
Yeah,
men
because it's
doing
a
their
lot
job.
of them. It is so many dads that take care of the kids. It's a lot of single dads that's not highlighted. It seems like niggas ain't doing shit, but they really are.
Right.
But it's a majority that's the fuck not. But it's a lot that is. Like, I have a few homies that take care of their kids, and people that's not my homies that I just know that take care of their kids. Single dads that's doing their shit. And my personal opinion, and I've said this before and got a little slack back from the females, like, if we were to put on the table a single mom versus a single dad, I believe kids come out better with a single dad. And why I say that is because dads are not as emotional as we are. We are built to be emotional. We are emotional creatures. Period. That's in our DNA. But when dads say sit your ass down and do your homework, most of the time the kids don't have no pushback. and they go do their homework. But with moms, it's like we gotta say the shit 50 million fucking times or snatch their soul before they really listen. So if we just looking at the statistics of the single mom producing the type of young adults versus a single dad and what he produced, they come out on top.
And the thing is, it's a very layered conversation. It's a controversial one, but it is a necessary one. And
Very
it is
necessary.
also where you say the quiet part out loud and with authority and with academia that makes it all the more authentic. Because we have to put some statistics out there first and foremost to also give credentials to these conversations. Number one, a majority of Black men in this country do not have children. A majority of Black men in this country take care of their children, no matter what the stereotypes try to be against us. So Black men are involved with their kids. And it is a situation where men move from a logical perspective. So we're always going to look at it from this is what it is because logistically, this is how it should be. And a lot of women get upset because I'm like, I guess it's how it's set for women in terms of the emotional thing, because people will try to layer emotion as a bad thing. I'm like, no, emotions are good because it helps you be in touch and have that intelligence of reading a situation. But when you're making decisions out of an emotional element, you're doing it off of how you feel, which can be a spontaneous feeling. But it's not.
Like I say, I always tell people, get out your feelings. Ain't no money in there. Period.
Right.
Period. But it's a thing that emotional maturity is not within everybody. That's something that is taught and that's something that is learned. That just don't come with you like that. And if
that's true,
your mama acted a certain way, and if you don't change that generational curse, then you're gonna act like that. Instead of being more calmer and talking to the children, you're gonna yell and threaten. And then what do you think is going to happen after so many years of yelling and threatening the kid or punching on a kid? They become
numb to it, and they get angry.
Exactly. They start to rebel.
This is a situation where, what you said about it, how a lot of women said, well, I don't need no niggas, this, that, and the other. I'm like, listen, or they ain't no good men. And I tell women this respectfully. The situation is you're going to come across a good man a few times in your life. The thing is, it might be but I tell women straight up, it's the decisions you make with the men that you're with that causes the problems.
Of course.
Because it's ultimately choices, and choices are going to benefit you or they're going to have a calamitous effect on you. And I tell women, that man that is working, who stay out of trouble, you know what I'm saying, who got good credit, ain't got no felonies, mind his black ass. That's a grown man, but there's always, for some situation with some women, the fascination, the romanticism of the bad boy. And because a lot of women feel like the bad boy exhibits certain traits of what they perceive as the alpha male that they can maybe mold and modify into what they want for them. It's like trying to make the bad guy the good guy for them.
Yeah, me personally, my whole thoughts is people need to educate themselves, instead of just talking and saying the same 12 vocabulary words all day. Take your ass to school, read something, research something, find something that you're intrigued by or interested in, and start elevating your mind. Because if you don't elevate your mind, then you stay in this little stupid ass hole. So education is big. It's big. I don't care who you are and what you're doing. If you're not educated, then your brain cannot think outside the box, period. And the box meaning your immediate home front and what you was raised around. Like, you can take somebody from LA to Arizona and drop them off. They will not know how to get home for certain people. And it's like the world is big, but you got to expand your brain at the end of the day. Because if you don't, then you're talking around in the same circle all the time. And that be the biggest problem, my opinion, because if people educate themselves, then they can see the bigger picture.
Like
And they
Razcat
can see
said,
the trauma, the ongoing trauma and the ongoing curse if they educate themselves at least about that. Because I tell people the book
mhm.
that I think everybody need to read is Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. I think that'll change a lot of Black people's lives if they just read that book.
Man, look, and the thing is that when we look at how the DNA of our ancestors is passed down through those traumas, it explains the plight emotionally for a lot of us from
Yeah.
those experiences. And it's something where we have to deal with those elements of emotional trauma in terms of the outlets where we may have not had it in terms of education for some of our older generation, in terms of keeping our kids safe, especially
Yeah.
in terms of when we know there may be molesters in the family or friends and or who are so-called friends, and we need to address that elephant in the room, that when these
Yeah.
people are not right, they do not need to be around the family, period.
They do not. Like, for example, you have a little girl that has been molested by an uncle. And by the time she get to the age that she know is wrong and she understand y'all did not protect her and that y'all suppressed everything, when she start acting up, why blame her for that? When y'all are
Exactly.
allowing this, y'all have actually made it fester even more. It was no protection, there was no support, it was no love. You got so many women that has went through the same thing with being molested young, that when they daughter go through it, it's just like a normal thing and they suppress them, which that is the total wrong thing to fucking do. So it's
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, it is no healing in our community. It's very little, maybe like 2% of healing. Because with us, our thing is we don't do therapists. We don't want to go talk to nobody. We don't want to do nothing. But that's the bullshit that the clear people put on us that prevent us from getting healed. And now we
Exactly.
run with it.
Exactly.
Now we run with it like ain't nobody going to go talk to no shrink. I had my appointment with my shrink today, once a week. I don't play about it.
But when you got
Because
legitimate
I be
stuff going
stressed
on,
out. I
yeah.
be ready to go postal on some shit. And I was like, man, I be like, boo boo, don't come on, bring it down, boo boo. Come on down, boo boo. Don't you start. And it'd be like at the end of the day, like y'all got shit fucked up. Y'all making wrong right and right wrong. No, I can't
No,
do
but
it.
no, but see, you from how you came up, those experiences and those feelings come from a real place. And for you to have an outlet to have those healthy conversations, to talk about what you have been through in the past and present, it is an outlet. Got shout out DJ Maniac because he gave you a shout out saying amazing book. We see you, man. So thank you for tuning in. And it's like,
Absolutely.
and that is something that is important because as Black people, we try to separate ourselves. And I want to word this very carefully so people really understand this. We want to be treated as equals, but we try to act like we're separate from everybody else, that we are not people. I'm like, no, we're human beings. We all are. We
Yeah.
go through the same feelings, the same emotions, the
If
same
not
ups and
more.
downs. Yeah. And because we're Black, we deal with so
Yeah.
much more, so it's like, it's important when we look at Black mental health in this country, no matter whether you are rich or not rich, when we look at some of the loss of life we've had, rest in peace to Shakir Stewart, to Chris Lighty, two of the legendary record executives, and when they did the investigations, they were like, these guys' money won't fucked up. Everything was good. And these guys had everything, money, fame, and everything. But we don't know to this day what was going on.
Right.
Why they decided to end it. We look at Kate Spade, in her situation in terms of, and we're just talking in general. I think if I got it right, she was in the midst of having a custody battle, I believe, before she, ended herself. It's like people got so much going on.
Yes.
We look at what happened with COVID 5 years ago, and that level of isolation that it forced people into. That is going to be a hard study, but it's going to be necessary study when we're going to have to look at years down the line how that affected people who were already on the borderline of being isolated and not having people to interact with. Because whether you at the club having a good time, a cookout, or just going to the mall and just seeing things, we are social beings. Humans need to interact with each other. That is important.
Absolutely. But COVID did good for me. For me, I didn't have no issues. Only issue I had was the nail shop was closed. That's the only issue I had. I'm like, I can't get my nails done. I'm like, oh, the world finna end. Other than that, I was okay.
Hey, that's a good thing. Shout out to DS. What's good to you too, man? Thank you for tuning in with us.
Man, got people tuning in, showing us love and everything. Good looking out.
Absolutely. So we've talked about the books and we're going to get back to that. Let's talk about the music. Who influenced you coming up that made you want to start rhyming?
I think me and my homegirl, I would say DMX, we liked him a whole lot. Dub C, oh my God. I used to
111 stand up.
I used to get into so many arguments about saying that Dub C was the best of what was it?
West Side Connection.
West Side Connect. Oh my God. And the homies is like, well, what about the other guy? I can't think of his name right
Mac
now.
10 and Ice Cube.
Mac 10. And we like, nigga, Dub C serving at home, motherfucker. But I just always had the talent. You know, I had so many books and books of writing from the age of like 15. And it was just more of me expressing my anger, you know, and then led into me gang banging and started writing about that. But my thing was, I've been around Dr. Dre a couple of times. Back then, my kids' family is the owners of Eve After Dark, with Lonzo and Dre and all Easy and all of where they started. Yeah, Lonzo, that's my guy too. But my kids' dad is linked to that family. So I've always sort of kind of been around it. But while I was gang banging, my thing was, you know, when guys used to come to me and be like, we trying to get you in the studio, you know, like you hard as hell, da. And I would see a blue button or a blue striped shirt and I'll be like, I ain't calling that motherfucker. But it was another selective choice of words because I gang banged back then. And I just passed up on a lot of opportunities being so focused on gang banging versus what was my talent, what was my purpose at that time. So my thing is now with because my son and my daughter, they kind of be like, Mama, you can rap. Like, you aggressive. You can rap. And I'm like, I really cannot rap like I used to can rap. Like, back in the day, I can go all day. But it's more like just picking it up because that's something that I have a skill in. You know, I'm multi-talented around the board with a lot of different things. And now that my kids are basically grown, because my youngest is 17. So my kids is grown and about to be gone now. So I'm like, let me pick back up what I feel like doing. So that's really what it is. But it's always been in my spirit.
I mean, one thing about it in the West Coast, when we think about, and growing up, you know, King, you know, my brother, he's from North Carolina. I'm from Hampton Roads, Virginia. Rap City, the Video Music Box, you know, Yo on TV Raps, that was for us. So we saw, you know, Dub C with Low Profile, with Dress Code and all that. You know, we remember Sinister from 89, Family Swans. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the West Coast was really doing it. Spice One, you know, Hayward, Oakland, California, you know, Too Short. I mean, shit, Bay Area, E40, one of my favorites, Uncle. I mean,
yeah, one of my favorites too, right?
Man, look. I mean, you know, shit, goddamn, who am I thinking of? Dre Dog, you know what I'm saying? Rapping Forte. I mean, you know.
I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on.
Cali stayed active. And of course, you know, when Snoop Dogg and all them, you know, in 92, when Deep Cover drops, and then Dre drops a Chronic in November of 92. And then, I mean, the next year, you know, Doggy, I mean, the West Coast has always had a story that has resonated with authenticity because it's told a story that people out here.
Yes, this about Drew Down. I'm like, man, yeah, we know a lot about Drew Down. We had Drew Down on the show several years ago.
Right.
Yeah, we had Drew Down on the show.
But one thing I do know about the West Coast is not big on female rappers. They not big on it. And I would explain that. If we about 30 years later, and shout out to Yo-Yo, we 30 years later and we don't have another global rapper, that's fucking impossible. Why don't we have another global female rapper from the West Coast? Because niggas is motherfucking gatekeeping. I don't give a fuck what nobody say.
I mean, look, and that's no lie because y'all got some badass femcs.
Oh, we got some bad ones. I mean, that's like
Camille.
almost right there, but global, like the Megs, the Glorillaz, and all that has been coming and going. Where is a West Coast one? That's global. I'm not talking about that's California wide and different state wide. That's like on BET. That's, and one thing what they ain't gonna do is the studs. That's dope as fuck. I could think of like 3 or 4 studs. That's dope as fuck. It's more than likely they not going to be global like on that platform like that, because one thing about sex sales and the bitches ain't giving up that ass, it's hard as fuck to get in the industry. So saying that to say it's even harder for the West Coast female to even be seen like that, to be pushed out there, because if we still at just Yo-Yo representing globally from the West Coast, the proof is in the pudding. Because it ain't no way, it ain't about 50,000 good little female rappers from California. It's impossible.
I mean, we had, Cam and China, rest in peace to, Cam passing, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and they were twin sisters, and I mean, they was hard as hell.
Like there go another, like we can go down a lot of different names that has not been global, and niggas is not featuring them like other females get out there just a little bit, have that one little song, and then somebody snatch them, and then other people start featuring with them. Why they don't do it with the West Coast females?
Yeah. One thing about, and DS just dropped a comment. He said West Coast hip hop is all about gatekeeping. If you ain't coming through Dre, Snoop, or Cube, it's over. And he's gonna be. But the thing is also too, when you look at a lot of rappers in terms of how they've been able, because one thing about it, about California, because one could say the gangster rap. I'm not going to say gangster rap started in California, because Schoolie D really brought it on the East Coast, back in the day. When Ice-T dropped his debut album back in '86, a couple of months before NWA did, Ice-T will tell you himself he got his rhyme style from Schoolie D, PSK, all of that, and Ice-T would pattern his rhyme style. So Ice-T and NWA really brought it to the forefront of national prominence, and it's continued. When you look, dude, Maniac saying Bloody Mary, aka
I mean, we can name some, or we can name some potent ones, but I'm saying global. That been on BET Awards, MTV Awards. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. That's presenting awards or something like that on these shows. Like, and then how he said like Snoop, Dre, and Cube. Okay, we know Cube has something to do with Yo-Yo. Okay, as far as in Dre has something to do with Eve. Eve is not from the West Coast. So Snoop and Dr. Dre, what West Coast female had they put out? Okay, end the conversation.
That's true. And I think where we look at the aesthetics of the music industry, because this goes into what's being marketed that we were talking about earlier in terms of what's being promoted. This is why I have not listened to the radio voluntarily in 20 years. At the job I have to. But in terms of personal, when I don't listen to the radio, because when it became corporate, they took the music out of the DJ's hands, and that became a problem because the music was not organic in terms of having a chance to grow, which means artists did not have a chance, male or female, to really find I mean, back in the day, DJs had that freedom. If you were dope, they heard something, they were like, okay, let's get it in rotation. And it ain't like that now. I'm not going to mention who this is, but it's a famous artist. And his manager, I talked to him last year, and he was like, he was trying to get one of his artists, he was trying to get out here on the radio. And I told him, I can't make no promises, but I'll make a couple phone calls and see what I can do. So I called a local DJ, And I was telling him, this whole thing, and he was like, I'll do what I can, but he got to make it worth my while. And I knew what that meant. But it's like he told me he's got a playlist, and they give him a playlist, and he's got to go by the
Play the
playlist.
list. Right.
And it's like, it's fucked up. It's got to be like that, because when we look at, guys like G Perico, what he's doing out in Broadway, AD, Mitchie Slick, San Diego. It's Steve Lacy, like I said, Cam and China, it's just, there are just so many of y'all out there that are just so damn talented.
Yeah.
And we fuck with y'all. Fig
Barely.
Newton, Fig Newton representing Denver Lanes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, fire. Yeah.
Yes.
Because my thing is, I do not want to be no rapper like that. You get what I'm saying? Like that, ain't nobody worried about that. It's more advocating for the younger females. Like, get some of these babies that's over here and put them out there, because they fire. You know what I'm saying? Stop hating on these studs, because these studs rap you niggas around a motherfucking pole. Like, put them out there globally. You know what I'm saying? But it's like they get so far and then they stagnated because don't nobody want to feature with them, because they ain't giving up no pussy. They want pussy. And it's like, come on, it's about the talent. It's about the it.
Exactly.
If they got the it, then get it. You know what I'm saying? Get it and make money. Make it do what it do. But niggas from the West Coast is selfish. Selfish as fuck. And I'm not, if somebody come to me today and like, we gonna give you X amount to do a album, and we need you to go over here for 2 months, I'm gonna pass on that. Because my thing is to be over for these little black little girls in my community. Every Saturday I give food to my community. I haven't posted in maybe a couple of months, but within these couple of months, I have never missed a Saturday. You know what I mean? So I have different stuff that means more to me than rapping. Rapping is just like a little hobby for me because I can do it. But that's not nothing that I'm focused on, or will I focus on.
The level of conviction and compassion that you have is unbelievable. When you decided to go full tilt in terms of your outreach with your activism, your nonprofit, when did it come to you to come on your heart to do that?
I've always had this neck to help young girls from when my daughter was in school, and when she was playing basketball, I'm trying to be the assistant coach and shit like that. So I've always been there to encourage them. And I say about 5-6 years ago, I'm like, let me start my own nonprofits for these young black girls, like very highlighted in my mind, these little black girls. And I just been focused on it. If it's not about elders, because for about 16 years my real job was taking care of elders, so if it's not about my elders, it's about these little black little girls or kids. Everybody in between, I don't really care about y'all. It's like, so that's my real focus. But my thing is to find a lot of me's and show the me's, be to the me's who I needed when I was out there with the bullshit. So that's what keep me going. And I know that with helping and healing these babies, I'm healing my childhood traumas.
That's
so
beautiful.
It's beyond just helping the girls, like it does something to me.
That's beautiful for you to have that type of energy to express and to, most importantly, share it. Because when we think about what's going on with the imagery of, and there's always going to be that conversation in terms of the music and how young girls are portrayed. I mean, look, I tell anybody, we grew up in the days of Luke, 2 Live Crew, and later on Foxy and Lil' Kim. And even then, that was just good old clean fun, But when we look at where Suki Hana, Sexy Red, and all that now, even us men are looking at it like, do we really want our girls to be like this? And, it's just something where I think the girls need, I'm not going to say I know these girls they need role models. They need to understand that to be a strong black woman, first and foremost, means to get your education, to be able to take care of yourself. We have, and once again, I want to be very careful how I articulate this because I love our queens out there, and I do not want to make it look like I'm trying to down my queens. But we got a situation where a lot of queens are trying to act on a level of meritocracy. A lot of these women where they don't have to do nothing for themselves, and a man is supposed to do everything. And I'm like, no, you got to get out there and get something for you, so you are ready for that right man to come.
Yeah,
You
because I
know,
mean,
you
if you allow somebody to feed you all the time, when they stop feeding you, how you gonna eat?
exactly. And the
So
pretty
my thing with
privilege.
these girls
Mhm.
is, get your education, do get
Exactly,
at least in
exactly.
the direction of where you going. Because one thing that I do know about men and niggas is that a man or a nigga gonna meet you where you at. Now, if you get a toxic one, yeah, he'll break you down. But a man will help a woman that's helping herself. Period. Now, if you're not helping yourself, then you might be fun for right now, and I might got a little bread that I can throw your way. But after that, I'm going to the next female to do whatever I'm doing with that. So it's like, okay, so if you depend on niggas to buy your wigs all the time, and this nigga don't buy your wig no more, like, what, you gonna be a chicken head?
Yeah, yeah, and that's true.
Now
And that's
you gotta
something.
get your stuff. You gotta get your stuff up and going for a man to match that or even surpass that. That's what I feel about it. I mean, I see all the stuff that's going on, and I know I talk to my girls face to face about it, and I've made a commitment to myself that I will never go on anywhere, social media or anything, platforms or nothing like that, and speak negative about a specific Black woman, because I'm just not gonna be able to do that. Now I could talk in general all
Understood.
day, but to be like
Understood.
specific about a Black woman, y'all not gonna catch me doing it. I mean, not to say that if I'm talking to my girls, I'm going to be for real with them, but I'm not getting on
Right.
social media bashing another Black woman, because at the end of the day, we don't know her story. We know the story that she told us, but most people don't really tell they real trauma. And until we know all that, I feel like shut the fuck up.
And that's facts. So we're gonna omit names on this, but we'll just talk about where the level of rap is in terms of how females are presented. And a lot of these girls think this is the way to be, but I'm like, no, this
No.
is not. This is not the imagery. This is where the lines of what entertainment and reality need to be defined as, because the
Mm-hmm.
reality is this. Um, People at the end of the day get paid to be a certain way.
Yeah.
And even then, with the type of music some of these female artists are doing, without saying no names on the air, because they're off the cuff, we are the same way. We only speak factually, but we are never out to, lambast or down anyone. But that this a lot of art, lot of some of the chicks that was kind of big a couple years ago, you can kind of see they're slowing down a little bit now because the music, it's like, okay, we got past the shot value. What else do we have
Right.
now?
Right.
Yeah, after the
And
shock
it's like,
value and the gimmick is up, it's like now they want to offer some substance. You got people are looking for something substantial.
Right.
I mean, is one thing about it, even though she does some wild ass shit, Doja Cat, because she is talented as hell.
And
Got
I
her new
like
album.
her music, like super talented.
Doja Cat is ridiculously talented. She is, and she's a little crazy, but that's the genius of it.
Yeah,
Little
that
baby word,
part.
brother.
But when you listen to her flows, and when she said, look, Doja Cat had me when she said Little Brother is one of her influences, her inspirations. I'm like, okay, she really knows hip hop. When you got SZA, who is just, oh my God. I'm so proud. I'm so happy for SZA, because I know how long it was for her to really, really break through. From See SZA Run, her EP, her day ones. If y'all listening out here, you know what I'm saying. In terms of when I mention those EPs, See SZA Run, I mean, and to see where she's at now, the whole world has caught up now. When you look at her representing Vallejo, that's 707, with her fine Filipino and black ass. Yes, and I mean, and when you even think about, even from the more hardcore hip hop game, with Kamaya representing Oakland, and I got to think
There's a lot of
Kamaya
it's like a huge branch of female talent out there, man.
Yes.
busting, kicking those doors down, so to speak.
Yes.
I need them to be global and in movies and all the other stuff.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But it's just, I think with the West Coast in general, there's still, because the record industry has moved from a perspective of what they feel. It's not only just West Coast females, but I feel like the West Coast hip hop has never really gotten the respect that it has deserved. And you all have contributed so much to the culture and this rich tapestry of an ongoing movement.
Yeah.
And it's something, but down south, of course, you know, down south, that's really what they've been pushing the most. And it's not a bad thing, but I'm like, just damn it, we're children of culture. We want to hear something. We want to hear a little bit of everybody who's good.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be from one region. We want to hear the West Coast. We want to hear more of the East Coast get love. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When Nipsey died, rest in peace, because we were going to get him on the show. Shout out to Twan Gotti, when
A lot of things that was in motion,
man, when to see Nipsey blow, to really start getting, when we heard last time that I checked, and when I heard that the first time, I was like, he's got one. Shout out to him and YG coming together. And that was really, Nipsey was really on that forefront of really bringing the West Coast to that forefront, because he had a song that the radio couldn't ignore.
Yeah.
But the marathon is still going strong. Shout out to Jay Stone, Pat Man the Gunman, rest in peace to G.I. Joe. But you all have just done so much. So we got to talk about your other passion too. Motorcycles with your vroomness. Tell us about that.
I grew up being a tomboy, so I'm that girl. Like all the purse, the lipstick, and all of that. I didn't start wearing makeup or coming into myself until in my 30s. So the motorcycle was something that I've been wanting to do from years ago. And I say about almost 8 years or 9 years ago, I just got into it. And that's what it is. Like, I love my wind therapy. I haven't rode my bike in about 2 years. It's just, the traffic is stupid. People drive dumb as fuck, and I'm not trying to touch the pavement.
Yeah.
But I will. I'm like, I've told my son, my baby boy, I'm like, yeah, it's time for me to just get a Harley and kick back. Because me on my little sports bike, I'm a speed demon. I'm slicing through traffic. It's like, you see it? Like, that was pink. Like, I'm gone. But I'm like, let me give me a Harley and I have to slow down a little bit, because a Harley can't slice through traffic like a sports bike can. But that's just one of the things, one of my little things I like to do as well.
Man, look, but everything y'all do out there, man, car culture, bike culture, fashion, y'all just do it big out there and with style. What is it about the West Coast in terms of what is it about growing up in LA that just gives y'all that flair for the flyness?
You know what? I don't know what it is because I live in it. Maybe somebody that comes from somewhere else could tell me what it is. But I think it's competition, for one. Really just competition. That's what I think. Because everybody wants to be better than the next person. It's a big competitive West Coast over here versus more family love. It's not like Southern, like the Southern people, you got the Southern hospitality, they more loving. There's more still a village raising kids per se. Us, we kind of like cutthroat and everybody is in competition.
Right.
So with competition, it looks like, when you're looking at the videos of the cars, the bikes, the women, the men, the lowriders, it's more of a competition versus just a community love. So that's why it looks so fly.
Well, one thing about it though, but I think growing up though for us, and watching the videos, it would just look like, one big ass party, whether you
Yeah,
a
it's always one big ass party for sure. And the more that we're in today's time is way more envy. It's way more
Mhm.
envy. Like, you a low rider and it's like, nah, I'm mad because mine's broke down and fuck that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Opposed to being under the hood to help him fix his shit. Like it's just a lot of envy.
Yeah, and that's something where when we look at it, and envy is a dangerous thing because it's one thing
Very.
to covet, but it's when it turns into something more malignant. Um, and I wanted to get your opinion on this in terms of how the conflicts can be resolved in the music game. Because I was watching the video Mano did last week. It was an old video, but he was talking about an interview, and met him some years ago. Real good guy. And Mano was saying in an interview, he was like, you got dudes that will plot their whole life to fuck you, to basically kill you rather than fix their situation. That shit hit me like a ton of bricks because I'm like,
Right.
that's where envy will take you at times.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at growing up out there in LA and with some of the rivalries between sets and even rappers, how were some of them resolved and how did some of them get out of control to the point it could not be resolved?
I think that understanding and all of that to resolve it will come from a conversation from the two parties without a whole lot of outside noise. Like
Right.
anything that one need to fix, it shouldn't be today and age on social media because everybody got their own spin, their own perspective. They'll take 2 sentences and put a whole fucking story to it and it just runs. So if one, I say for example, if me and you was beefing, then I think that the best way to handle that is to sit down and talk. Like maybe with one
Right.
person with you, one person with me, or just us two, because one thing about it, when you sit and talk to somebody, you start to understand where they're coming from versus being in your fucking feelings. Because there ain't no money in there. Everybody living their feelings and ain't no fucking money in there. But me sitting and talking to, because my thing now, I will not really go there with another black woman. I just will not. Like a different race, that's a different story. But another black woman, I'm not really finna go there with you no more because you're struggling like I'm struggling. You may be having a badass damn day and I'm not finna match your fucking energy because we both black women. I just think people get
Disclaimer.
that way more understanding because I wouldn't even say giving passes because that's not giving a pass. That's just being compassionate and understanding. You would damn near as a black woman have to put your hands on me before I would even respond to you like that because I pride myself on who I am and I know who I am now. And I don't want to be in the mix of causing harm to another black woman no more.
And disclaimer, as she said, this is not me. Mama Boo is is punking out. No, this means
I'm
that she
not,
understands,
but I'm
and this
mature. I
she
don't care
knows
about
what
that.
she's capable of if you push her
Yeah,
to it, and she's trying.
and then the thing about it too is I know what I'm capable of. I know it's a lot of people that love me and anything happen is going all the way up. But the other thought to that is I don't got time to sit down locked up or be recovering
Right.
from something that didn't even have to happen.
Ice-T, Uncle Ice said something that was so poignant years ago when he was talking about how beefs start, and it's usually not necessarily the artists themselves, or it can be with the artists themselves, but it's usually the niggas in the crew that exacerbate and accelerate the situation. Because like you said, when you have conversations, especially where there's some real conflicts, sometimes an audience will be the ammunition for the attack. And you need to have as absent an audience as possible because you don't know where people's ulterior motives are. As a Japanese proverb once said, an assassin rarely comes from a distance. It could be that same person in your circle that's going to line you up to get chalk lined.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you do not need people. Everything does not necessarily have to be public. And I think this is where we're
Right.
living at in a digital age, because everybody wants to make shit public. And I'm
Yeah.
like, me and King, we be talking off air. We're like, what the hell are they doing? Always taking shit. I mean, I'm like, we do not need. It's like with Nicki Minaj and her whole thing right now. I'm like, Nicki, stop. Jay-Z's not gonna respond to you. Cardi already said what's gonna happen if she run up on you. It's
Basically,
like,
you gain nothing.
yeah, and you're gaining nothing from it. And then somebody close to you just hit you for 30 racks on your credit card. We hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So
yeah,
it's
everything is not for social media. First off.
right.
Like I be having
Right.
different things that I be wanting to talk shit about, but I'm not going to social media about that. I'm going, if it's that serious, whoever I feel that I need to talk shit about, I'm going to talk to them and talk shit to them. Like that's one thing that I do have a little bad. If I have an issue, I'm bringing it to you. I can't sleep unless I tell you what I feel. Period.
And that's called
So,
being
but
grown.
social media, I can't do that. It's been different stuff like with the kids' father, because all my kids have the same dad. With the kids' dad, I ain't went and blasted him on social media, and I got some tea. I got some hot fire. And I'm not going on social media with that shit. Not yet. My story is coming out. About to start my docu-movie. And yeah, I'm going to spill some tea up in there, some factual tea. But I ain't ready to talk about it yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to be on social media with this shit. First off, he don't even be on social media like that. But it's not nobody else's business to spin my shit for a false narrative on something I didn't even say. You just made that up and added to what I said. I'm not playing them games with people with my life or nothing like that.
And that's the key, Mama, what you said about playing with your life, because a lot of people get out there and don't understand what they're saying implicates people's lives and their reputations.
Mhm.
And you have to understand that once certain things get out there,
You can't pull it back.
Exactly. You can't pull it back.
Mhm.
And it's just, I just tell people, you have to really think about it, that if this is an issue that really needs to be handled, whether y'all got to shoot it out or fight it out, then y'all just need to go handle it. But when you get out there and make it public, to me, you're making it more dangerous, because you're basically trying to harangue this person publicly. And nobody
Yeah.
likes to be disrespected in public.
For sure.
Because
For sure.
because once because now it's like you're really trying to make them a target for everybody to go at. And
Yeah.
we've seen situations where people got out there publicly making songs or saying stuff. What was it, that dude that dissed G Herbo, talking about G Herbo couldn't come back to Chicago, and the dude got whacked. And I'm not saying G Herbo had nothing to do with this. We're not saying this on air, but G Herbo things happen when people say stuff. And Herbo said, "Speak my name for some clout," and you get a headstone behind it.
Yeah, because somebody else may just pick up and run with what you said,
Exactly.
So it's not like, no, don't put it out there. But what I have noticed, with anything you put out there, it takes on its own life and its own spin. And it's like, it could be somebody in a totally different state that made a statement that sound good, and now they ran with it. And this person has never been in the same state with you, less alone in the same room with you. So it's kind of like, social media is too much.
It is, and that's something.
Hey guys, we probably going through the ticker. We probably got to end it on a positive note here, because we went through over 2 hours. I ain't trying to get cut off here.
Okay.
Absolutely. Look, this has been beautiful, and we took a minute, but you're welcome back anytime, and we thank you so much for your wisdom, for your enlightenment, for your everything, the aura, the positivity, and most importantly, pragmaticism and the steady evolution and progression. Thank you. Thank you, thank you,
Absolutely.
thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we
Thank you
appreciate the
guys
love,
for
man.
allowing me to come on, like just so I can talk, because I love to talk. But thank you guys for giving me the platforms to be able to speak my piece and to say what I needed to say for tonight. So thank you guys.
Absolutely.
And
And
we
definitely we're gonna keep in touch with anything that you're promoting or that you have going forward.
Okay, that's a bet.
absolutely.
All right.
King, take us out of here.
Yeah, on
Off the
that
cuff
note, we up out of
radio.
here. Catch us
Whoa.
next week. We'll be right back in full effect, you heard?
Look, AP forever on red. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right.
Not
Okay.
me.
Yes, sir.
All right.